The video starts with my face, wide-eyed 19, holding a violin in a cramped living room. You can see my cramped fingers trembling on the neck as the bow dips uncertainly across the strings. Off to the side, my cousin Tyler snorts, his laughter sharper than the notes I dream of mastering. The comments pop up beneath. LMAO, he thinks he's Yo-Yo Ma. Somebody stop this dude. Try classical fast food lol. By the next morning, my phone is vibrating endlessly, and my cheeks are hot with the kind of shame that seeps through your bones and sits there heavy, refusing to move. My mother's voice from the kitchen, "Why would you go posting that? What will people think? Why can't you just be normal, Ben?" My father doesn't say much, just flicks his newspaper, but it's the way he won't meet my eye that burrows deep. By Sunday, even the pastor makes a joke about violinists during his homily. I feel my ears burn until the humming-stained glass windows blur with tears I don't allow to fall. I keep my head down and my hands stuffed in jacket pockets. The ridicule becomes the air I breathe in our Bronx neighborhood, thick and laced with disbelief. I hear it in school corridors, where the guys who once picked teams in gym now toss violin jokes over their shoulders, not expecting an answer. I hear it in the slam of my cousin's bedroom door when I practice, muffling notes that are never right enough. At night, I sit on the fire escape, cold metal pricking through my sweats. The city is a grid of restless noise and yellowed windows, and I clutch my violin case like a lifeline, like a shield, wondering if I'm being delusional, wondering if maybe my family's right. This dream is something people like us just don't do. Still, whenever my fingers curl around the fingerboard, I find a kind of quiet the world can't reach inside. I play badly at first, bow skidding, notes scratching. Sometimes a neighbor knocks on the wall, one sharp thud that sounds like enough, but I keep playing, quiet and stubborn. Spring spills into summer, and my mother enlists me to help her at DeLuca's Deli on weekends. I wrap cold cuts, sweep the front stoop, and try not to flinch when Mrs. Carter across the street gives me that look, the one that says, "Still wasting time, huh?" I nod, force a smile, tuck my ambition tighter. Junior year, I save every tip, play for hours, and start listening to recordings on cheap headphones late at night. I watch videos on YouTube until my data runs out. Menuhin's hands, Perlman's soft smile, the open-hearted purity of every phrase. They're nothing like me. Still, when I close my eyes, I can almost imagine I'm inside one of those concert halls, stage lights warm on my face, every note another chance. I apply to Juilliard. I know how it sounds, ludicrous, obscene even. There's only one violinist from our whole borough who's ever made it, and that was 40 years ago. When I mail my application, my father shakes his head. "Apply to Fordham," he grunts, "just in case." I audition at dawn in a rumpled suit and second-hand shoes. My violin case has a chip in it, one my cousin drew a rude face on, and I hide it behind my legs. I walk into the room, hands shaking, tongue thick as clay, but I close my eyes, remembering the feeling when I played alone on the fire escape, and for 3 minutes the room falls away. My body feels hollow and light, just breath and movement and sound. After my audition, I step out into the rain. Midtown is grey but alive, and for a moment anything feels possible. Then reality returns. The subway deadlines my mother's tired sighs. March brings the decision. I steel myself for disappointment, but the envelope is thick and white and heavy in my hands. I choke on the words. "Ma," I whisper. I got in. My mother sits down hard as if someone has pulled a rug from under her. "What are you going to do now?" is all she says. My father shrugs. "Ain't gonna last," he mutters. But I leave, a battered suitcase in one hand, violins slung over my shoulder like armor. I move into a shoebox dorm room with paper-thin walls and a window no bigger than a dish plate. The city is so loud, but in the practice rooms I carve out some quiet. I drill scales, etudes, concertos until calluses split my fingertips. I skip meals to afford string repairs, wear the same thrift store coat winter after winter. Failure greets me daily. My technique is raw, my accent draws odd stares, my fingers are slower, my nerves tauter than my classmates. I take on every gig, bar mitzvahs, subway stations, high school recitals. Sometimes people clap. More often they ignore me, coins clattering into my case like pity. But deep in the night, I remember that viral video and promise I will never let that be the ending. Shame rides my shoulder still, but so does resolve. I find a mentor, Mrs. Kashiwagi, a tiny woman with a hurricane's intensity and a belief in redemption. She pushes me, yells at me, then hugs me until I realize tears have soaked my collar. "You have something," she says. Not polish, maybe, but soul. She makes me play the same phrase 100 times until it sings. Music isn't about perfection, Ben, it's about truth. I worked and worked. My sound strengthens, my confidence falters, then flickers, brief and stubborn. Senior year, the Metropolitan Youth Orchestra auditions come up. I enter the hall with shaking hands, still haunted by the laughter echoing in my skull. The conductor nods, I raise my bow, that day something shifts. I find the quiet inside the storm of nerves and let it bloom. The audition ends, my heart flatlining. I check my phone compulsively in the hall, looking for any sign. Hours later, an email, we are pleased to offer you the position of principal second violin. I nearly dropped my phone, gasping for breath. For the first time in years, I think maybe, just maybe, the dream is real enough. After graduation, gigs become more regular. I teach, I freelance, I hustle. There are nights in tiny clubs playing to drunks who don't care and days when I marvel at how I've survived. Then one evening as summer aches into autumn, everything changes. The New York Philharmonic announces an open chair and my mentor presses a ticket stub into my palm. Audition, bet. Go break their hearts. I practice until I see double, sleep in 4-hour bursts, drink ramen for a week. On the morning of the audition, the subway breaks down at 59th, and I sprint the last 3 blocks, lungs burning. In the green room, faces hover, slick and groomed, studio educated. My jacket is too short at the sleeves, my shoes scuffed, but when they call my name, I walk onto the stage and refuse to let my fear win. The first notes are shaky, but I remember the fire escape, the city lights, the world closing in, and I channel every ounce of wanting, all the nights I almost gave up, every cruel word, every joke at my expense, into the melody. When I finish, silence, then, thank you Mr. Reyes, we'll be in touch. Weeks crawl by, days spill into restless nights. Then an email, congratulations, Ben Reyes, we are delighted to welcome you. I read it 3-4 times, certain there's been a mistake. But when I step onto that Lincoln Center stage for the first time, the spotlights blazing, tuxedo crisp, I understand. The world changes not in sudden sunlight but slowly day after day, until one dawn you realize you've crossed over. I think of calling home but I don't. After all these years it's easier not to. The bridges are weathered and uncertain. Months later the Philharmonic announces a special city outreach concert. Performing in the Bronx, my old neighborhood, in the same church hall where my cousin once filmed me. I'm not sure if it's fate, coincidence, or irony, but I sign up. Before the concert, I walk past DeLuca's Deli, the windows fogged, the sign faded, and look inside. Mrs. Carter's there sorting receipts. She glances up, and for a second, recognition and disbelief mix on her face. She lifts a hand, uncertain. I nod and move on. Backstage, my hands tremble, not with nerves this time, but something like memory. The church hall smells of floor polish and candle wax. There are new faces, but the same rows of wooden pews, the same old banners. A hush gathers as the band tunes up. I listen for laughter, for old ghosts, but all I hear are footsteps and whispered anticipation. Midway through the program, the conductor introduces me. From right here in the Bronx, Benjamin Reyes, our soloist tonight. Applause rises in scattered bursts. I walk to center stage. My eyes drift over the crowd, family faces clustered in pews. My mother, older now, her hair streaked with silver. My father, arms folded. My cousin Tyler, still stocky, leaning over his phone. Their faces are hard to read. The first note is thin, unsure, but I dig deep, recalling Mrs. Kashiwagi's words. Music is truth. I pour everything into the music. The hurt and the hope, the hungry wanting, the lonely nights, the burning shame, the courage that grew out of it all. As the last note hangs in the air, I open my eyes. The room is perfectly silent, a hush so deep it feels like prayer. Then people are standing. The applause is thunderous, echoing off painted walls, reverberating through old wounds. In that moment, I am not a joke, not a headline, not a hashtag. I am everything I fought to be. After, there are handshakes, congratulations, choir ladies pressing platters of food into my hands. My mother lingers at the edge, uncertain. I walk to her, violin case by my side. She looks up. For a second, I see the weary fear, the old worry that my failing is inevitable. It's really you, she whispers. I nod. Yeah, Ma. It's me. My father comes up behind her, clearing his throat. He rubs his hands down his pants the way he does when he's nervous. He opens his mouth, shuts it, then finally says, rough and quiet, didn't think you'd pull it off. But you made us proud. Something in me finally unclenches. The years dissolve and I'm a kid again, just wanting to be seen. Tyler is there too, shifting awkwardly. Hey man, he grins, unable to look me in the eye. Guess the joke's on us, huh? A bubble of laughter slips from me, unexpected and light. We spill out into the Bronx night, church bells chiming the hour. The city stretches luminous and endless, and for the first time in a long time, I walk these streets with my head held high. I feel the weight of shame dissolve, a memory now, not a curse. As we drive home, my violin sits beside me on the seat. I watch the familiar storefronts slide by and realize dreams aren't ridiculous. They're heavy and holy and hard. They change you, change everything. I return not as the punchline of a joke, but as the proof that redemption is possible, even for the most unlikely dreamers.